beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, everybody. This is 1100 WSG. I'm Utah LaVern, and yeah, this is one street over. What's happening one street over from where you're living? We may be going through a calendar today because we had on the schedule a couple of the principals from Robertson County, and don't know what happened with the communications there, but we so far haven't seen them. So somebody may come walking in here. This is something that we really... when I first started, and welcome to it again, this is 1100 WSG. I can't remember if I said that, but just trying to reach out and see if we can't get them on in here. Sometimes things happen, though. But when I first took over the show, this is something that they had been in the habit of doing, is just inviting in the principals from around the county so they could touch base with them and just see what's going on around our schools, because, I mean, there's just so much happening here. And as I talked with, if you missed the shows the last couple of days, that was something that was really, that I had just really wanted to do for a while, is talk to Dr. David Evans, because he has a real passion for doing tours in the Holy Land and walking the steps of the Apostle Paul and all of those things. And it's something that I am just really hoping that the Lord opens the door for me to be able to do. And so as I have been studying some of the original intent of scriptures, what we, the hermeneutical study, it's led me back into an early passion I had as a kiddo into archaeology. And so as I have been looking into all of that, I just really wanted to talk to Dr. Evans about that. And so yesterday he brought in, he and I both had a little show and tell. I brought in some of the books that I absolutely love to study from. And I also brought in, I brought in the books that I have been studying most recently, and he brought in some of the souvenirs and things that he had brought back from the Holy Land. So I just really encourage you to go and check that show out yesterday and the one before. When it comes to social media posts, if you're listening to us on the regular airways, you need to go to the WSGI page. I share that on my page every day. I've shared it today. But because of the algorithms of Facebook, if you follow me, you don't get notified of it. So you need to follow WSGI. And I'm trying to find a workaround around that. If somebody's out there that's expert in this that can help me figure out how that what I share from WSGI can be alerted to my followers, that would be great, because we're not seeing the exposure to the shows that we had once seen whenever we were sharing it on both platforms. But nonetheless, that's just a little bit of housekeeping when it comes to our social media stuff. We may end up having a couple of folks come in from the Robertson County Schools. If they don't, we're going to cover a few other things around town. First and foremost, I really want you guys to stick around for the Go Show. This is going to be really cool. I really admire Lee Marie for being able to make this happen so quickly. And this is something, I posted on Saturday just trying to figure out what's going on with the sale of the theater. That is something that I have been super curious about for a very long time, because the desire we have here in Springfield and in Robertson County, we want to see the downtown area grow. My kids lived in Gallatin for a time, and we would go in to see them, and maybe on the weekend say, hey, let's go grab some dinner, and we could go downtown, and it was just hopping. And we want to see that same thing happen here in Springfield and Robertson County. So what do we do to make that happen? We support and patronize the businesses in the downtown square. You got to be real intentional about it. I know it's hard. I stay so busy myself, and my family doesn't live here. I don't have any of my kids here. And so as I'm trying to support my community, I'm drawn away to all my grandkids that are scattered all over. I'm trying my best to get some of them to move back, and maybe that will happen. But I believe that a revitalization of that theater downtown could be enormous. The gentleman that purchased this is the same person, and this is Michael Crawley, and I have not met him, but I am real excited that he is coming in here to talk to Lee Marie, and I hope you will see that and share it and make sure everybody knows what's going on, because this is the same guy. My understanding is this is the same guy that is putting in the drive-in theater down the road here. And so that's super exciting as well. And, you just love to see that throwback stuff. And I think it's going to bring people to our community in a very, very big way. But Michael Crawley is going to be, and it's an exclusive interview she was able to pull off. Way to go, Lee Marie, at 8 a.m. And if for some chance y'all listening and you can make your way in earlier, if our principals don't show up, then we would love to talk to them as well. But again, don't want to steal her thunder on that. She was able to work that out. That's going to be an awesome show starting at 8. A chance to hear from Michael Crawley, that has purchased the theater in downtown, and oh man, I can't wait to hear what his plans are. We all have our things that we're hoping it will be. We see the theater that's in Franklin, and that's kind of in a lot of our minds, that's kind of what we anticipate that might happen. And we had heard early on before COVID, they had said they were going to make it a venue for shows and things like that. I even talked to Robertson County Players folks about, wouldn't it be cool if Robertson County Players could be in there? But they say the stage isn't really what they need. It's not large enough. But anyway, it's cool to speculate and wonder, and guess what? In less than an hour, you're going to be able to hear on these airways exclusively on the Go Show with Lee Marie from Michael Crawley, who purchased the theater on Saturday. So stick around for that, and stick around for, again, another full hour of local programming. And if we end up talking to our principals, that'll be great. But as we kind of, think of other things that we're going to talk about, there's so many things in the community. As I said, up until this week, we have been covered up with requests to come on the show because there's so many things happening. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of cover a few of the things that are happening around the area while we wait to see if our guests are going to make it in. If you did not get to go to Smoke on the Ridge, well, good news, because there's another event coming up that you can be a part of that is going to be amazing. The area up at Ridgetop, if you've ever studied the history of it, this was the retreat place that people would go to whenever they would leave whenever they would leave the city of Nashville and they wanted to come in and have a little bit of a break from the heat and being right there on the river is kind of we've got all that humidity, and so they could come up on the ridge here in Ridgetop and they would actually get a little bit of relief. It was a little bit cooler up here, and so this is the place that they wanted to come to. So it was very popular. I like to describe Ridgetop as the gateway to Robertson County of Highway 41. It's a trek that I have spent many, many, many hours on because that's the route I take into Nashville. I'm very involved in the Madison community. My church is there that I've been part of since 1989, the Madison Church of Christ. And so I travel that route a lot. But Ridgetop is just a beautiful place. They had their Smoke on the Ridge this weekend, and they've got a Civil War reenactment, Battle at Dead Horse Trestle. And this is happening on October 24th, 25th, and 26th up on the ridge. It's going to be $10 can get you in for the day, or you can buy a weekend pass for $15. Children ages 12 to 17 can get a weekend pass for $9, or they can get a daily pass for $7. But one of the cool things is they're opening it up for school kids from our Robertson County schools to come in on the 24th on that Friday. And that is going to be a wonderful opportunity for the kids to see what it was like, not that long ago. That's one thing whenever I was talking with Dr. David Evans yesterday about all the things that they dig up in Israel. It was so interesting because when we think about what they dig up in Israel versus what we have here in America, we're not that old. And, we find, like we said, we find arrowheads and evidence of the Civil War and even Revolutionary War and things like that. And the Native Americans that were here before we got here. But beyond that, that's it. We're such a young country. But for the students to understand what happened in our short history is the only way you prevent repeating it. So to be able to come and see how far we've come in such a short amount of time, I think is such a great opportunity for these kiddos. They're going to be able to step into what they were telling me. They're going to have basically an emergency area, an emergency tent area, where they can go in and see what it was like to if they were injured on the battlefield, what they had access to and what they could do to help, and a whole lot that they could do, but the medical facility. And so that is going to be an amazing thing to see. They're going to have all the different period shops and how they cooked, and the blacksmithing and all of those kinds of things that were such a part of that time period. They're going to get to see a reenactment of what a battle would have looked like during that time. There's going to be music. They've got period music from the 52nd Regimental String Band that's going to happen. But if you missed Smoke on the Ridge, you've got another wonderful opportunity to go and see what's going to be happening over at the Ridgetop area for Morgan on the Rim. And again, that's coming up on October 24th, 25th, and 26th. So we want to be sure and remind you to get out for that. Some other stuff. Come on in here. I'm not sure who just walked in, but we're going to welcome her on in. So come on in, sweetheart. Come on. Are you one of our principals? Okay, come on in. Were you supposed to be here at 7 or 7:30? 7:30. Well, you're not late then. You're absolutely early. I'm gonna let you come on in and settle in. But our first guest didn't make it, so I'm gonna have you pull that microphone to you and have you use that one though. But we're gonna meet here in just a second, and I'll pull that microphone up for you. Thank you for coming on in. Hang on just a second, and we'll get reset here. So I'll tell you what, while you get settled, I'm going to go ahead and do an ad. How about that? How does that sound good? But we're going to continue. I told you we were expecting some of our principals from Robertson County. Our first one just did not get the reminder, so we're good to go. But we're going to go ahead and talk about, before we get to our interview, I want to touch base with Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market, because they've got a big event coming up. As we're talking about fall events, we have got their Fall on the Farm coming up on October the 11th. October the 11th, Fall on the Farm, and you don't want to miss this, guys. It's going to be so much fun. It's a free event, number one. Up in Orlando, they are at 7536 Clay Gregory Road in Orlando. It's on Saturday, October the 11th from 9 to 3. Live music, bounce houses, corn pit, the farm store, of course, with all kinds of wonderful items that if you want to do some Christmas shopping already, man, get in there. They've got great stuff. Maybe even if you've got something coming up, maybe somebody's got a birthday or something in these last few weeks of the nice weather, go in there and pack them a basket full of fresh cuts that Bernard Farms has grown themselves and processed and brought out and put in the fresh case. Their fresh case is full of pork right now. There's always great cuts in the freezer section as well. But everything that you want for your table, everything that you want for your grill, you're going to find it as fresh as it can be at Bernard Farms. Don't forget, Fall on the Farm coming up Saturday, October 11th from 9 to 3, 7536 Clay Gregory Road in Orlinda. When you get out there, and you can go see them right now, they're open 7 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday. An opportunity to go have breakfast, you can have lunch, and just be sure and let them know U-Turn sent you. Okay, because I don't have my list with me, can you introduce yourself, because we're having some communication issues. Our communication director is out of town, and so trying to connect all the dots. So which school are you with?
I'm Tiffany Hyde, and I'm principal at Coopertown Elementary.
Okay. Well, go ahead and pull that microphone to you a little bit more if you don't mind.
Okay.
So you're at Coopertown Elementary. Are you new? Is this a new gig for you?
No. I think I went to Coopertown in 2015.
Okay.
So I guess I just finished 10 years. I'm in year 11.
Oh, my goodness. So are you doctor?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
But Tiffany Hyde, she is in HYDE? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just making sure I've got it right. At Coopertown Elementary.
Yes.
Now, Coopertown Middle got a new principal, right?
Yes.
That's where I had it confused. Okay, so at Coopertown Elementary, that's as you're going down 49 on the left.
The left, yes.
On the left. Mm-hmm. So you're the one who got the new school.
Yes, the renovation.
Okay, the renovation.
Yes.
See, I get them mixed up, even though I travel through there all the time. Because I'm from Kentucky. That's my trek home, is I go down 49 and I go 24 to head up toward West Kentucky. But as I head down through there, I always want to back them up. But I've gotten a little more clarity with the middle school because they're doing so much of the Robertson County Players over there right now.
Yes.
And so that's gotten me a little more familiar with that. But the elementary school, those renovations were completed, a couple of years ago? How many years now?
So we went through COVID.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only thing that I remember, it's going through COVID and the school renovation. So it's, I guess, 3 years maybe.
Okay. Time goes too fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. But Coopertown is just a wonderful little community. I've got some friends up there. My friend Muriel Barnett, she grew up out there. They have farmland still there. And so it's just a wonderful community. It is a wonderful community. So are you from Robertson County?
I am. I graduated from Springfield High School many years ago, 1993, and I returned here to teach at Cheatham Park. Left Cheatham Park to go to Chrysler to teach. Taught there, I think, for maybe 8 years. Went to Greenbrier Elementary as assistant principal. Back to Cheatham Park as principal, and then now I'm at Coopertown, where I hope to stay.
I hear you. Until you retire.
Until I retire.
That's the verbiage with the teachers. I've learned that as a teacher, because I don't know if I teach at Greenbrier High School, and so I'm starting my 4th year, and that just seems impossible.
So I'm in year 29.
God bless you. My goodness, that's a lot. Well, what are you most proud of about Coopertown Elementary?
I think you said it. It's the community. It's the kids. People may say I'm partial, but I do think it's a sweet little place. Mm-hmm. If you go in there, the kids are just adorable. We are Eagles, so we encourage them to soar, to be safe, outstanding, accountable, and respectful. Mm-hmm. Not only are the students adorable, but we have teachers that want to be there. Teachers that take pride in our school, teachers that set high expectations, teachers that spend many hours preparing their lessons and instruction for students each day.
Well, as soon as you said so, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that from last year.
Yes.
I remember you telling me that from last year, because this is the second year we've visited with the principals, and now I'm remembering our conversation because I loved that. Mm-hmm. And say what SOAR means again.
It's safe, outstanding, accountable, and respectful.
I love it. When you can put those kinds of values in a kid, you can't go wrong.
Right.
You can't go wrong. I love it.
So We do source strips each morning, and so kids, they love to hear their names on the intercom. And so they may get a source strip for being safe, and the teacher or the adult will write what they did to be safe, or they can get one for outstanding, accountable, or respectful. And if I get behind on those source strips, you better believe I'm going to hear it in the hallway, because they're going to tell me, I got a source strip, I was being accountable, I was staying on task, doing what I was supposed to. So we try to keep up with that each morning. But they get real excited. So anything to motivate kids, keep them on track, do what we need them to do, I'm all about it.
I love it. I love it. And you're right. I mean, they love that reinforcement. Yes. It tickles me. We have some things we do with the newscast that we do up at Greenbrier. And we have a thing called Ask a Bobcat, and we're asking them just silly questions, usually silly questions during lunch. And if their answer doesn't make the newscast, they're like, why wasn't it on the news? I answered it, and you just don't have enough time.
Right.
We did one the other day that we had 70 cuts.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it's like, it was just too much, But, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, And so we were like, what's your favorite Mexican food? And so we got lots of answers, lots of cheesy rice. But anyway, so it was a lot of fun. But so what is it that you have coming up? Because I know it's different with the lower grades than it is when you get up into middle school and high school, because we're all about athletics. It's all sports all the time. So you guys don't have teams. Mm-mm. So, they play the community leagues and those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. So with the community leagues, and I think you may have answered this last year, my grandkids are in a district where they don't have a school league, but they play the community leagues, and the community leagues play at the school gyms. Do y'all have that happening? Is that something that happens at Coopertown?
There are community leagues. However, we do not have any that use in our gym as of now.
Okay. So because we have the center and we have different places like that. We have other places for them to go. Well, so since you don't have sports, what are the big things coming up? Because we're into fall.
We are.
I mean, you're going to I know y'all got to have something happening that's fall related.
Yes.
So what's going on?
So I have to be honest, the one big thing on everybody's mind is fall break.
Oh, yeah.
That's our biggest thing. However, when we return from fall break, we do have some things lined up. So November 13th is our family reading and math literacy night. That's where we invite our families back to school after hours, and they'll go throughout the building and play literacy games and math games with their parents.
Oh, right.
We are also, on that same day, we're opening our doors to invite our community in for Thanksgiving lunch. We had to move it up just because it's a popular thing in the county, and that was the date that we were given. So we had PTO on Monday. I know we probably had 200 people there, if not more. We made the announcement. So our doors, normally when we open our doors for parents to come in, it is an all-day thing. But we are glad to have our community in the building.
And what did you call the PTO?
PTO, Parent Teacher Organization.
Parent Teacher Organization Monday. So what, did you just invite them in for lunch or?
So our PTO is where we honor our Student of the Month. So teachers, we didn't do one in August, so we did a Student of the Month for August and September.
Okay.
And then we did Teacher of the Month as well. And so we have one of our PTO officers, actually our president, if they are there and they need to communicate something to the families, they will speak. And so she just kind of spoke to those things, just to invite parents back into our building on November 13th.
Okay, well, very good. And you'll have a packed house because when you get especially in the elementary, you get up in middle school, and sometimes the kids are like, "No, I don't want you to come to school," But when they're little, man, oh my goodness, they want you there as much as possible. And I think that's wonderful that y'all do that. Speaking of that, I know I don't get to do it because again we're on. Well, they're off when we're not. Because I'm a school teacher. I can't go to lunch with my grandkids, but I do know that's something that they love to happen. Is that something that y'all have here?
Unfortunately, we do not on a daily basis, simply because we don't have the space. Our lunch period is, it's jam packed. And there's just no extra space for parents. So we try to find things like literacy night, Thanksgiving dinner to open our doors so that parents can come in with their students.
I gotcha. How are y'all going to accommodate the Thanksgiving then with the crowd?
Well, so we're going to pack our patience. I told teachers, pack your patience. We're going to do as much instruction as you can. I can tell you once those doors open about 10:25, the instruction kind of takes second place just because lunch normally backs up about 20 to 30 minutes. And then a lot of the kids do leave with their parents. Right. And so we try to do the best that we can. We go in with our patients and we go in knowing that we might have to reteach some material because most of our kids may leave. But it's such an exciting time. I think it's well worth it. Instruction is important, but to see the smiles on the kids' faces and see the parents come in and really excited about it, I think it's well worth it.
Well, and it gives the kids come in and they can tell you all kinds of things, but until you see it, touch it, and experience with them, you don't completely understand it. Right. And so tell me the date on that again.
It's November 13th.
November 13th. And that will be, a nice, honestly, I like those early dates for stuff like this because when they get too close to the actual holiday, it's so busy that you can't get it all in. We celebrate Christmas early in my family because I'm a boy mama, so it's just what you do. Right. And it's just, you have more fun because there's not so much stress because you're not like right on top of the holiday. So do you have any big fall break plans yourself?
Not right now. I do not, but I'm such a last minute planner. I tell you, I look forward to being at home doing nothing. That's not something I get to do often. So I do look forward to no schedule, no alarm clock. I always tease the kids, I don't have to call your mama. I don't have to cover classes. It's just a nice time just to take a break, a needed break that we all need during that time.
You're talking about covering classes. It's something that, because we have a hard time keeping subs and we have teachers missing and things like that because they'll go on maternity leave, they'll have emergencies. So how are you guys as far as staffing? Are you fully staffed or do you have some openings?
We are fully staffed, and in fact, I try to do some type of incentive for teachers that have perfect attendance. And I sat at my desk yesterday about 3:30 as I was going through. They love June Day coupons, so that's one of the things that they will get. But I was so impressed that we had 30 people in the month of August with perfect attendance, and in September we had 28, and that's huge. A lot of times when school starts, the illness, the germs start to spread, people are sick. So I was very proud of my teachers. And it just made me feel good that we had teachers in there. I knew kids were getting good quality instruction. And so we did the best that we can.
I love it. And those jean coupons. I'm not a blue jean wearer, so I don't really get it. But man, my co-teachers, when they get a blue jean day, it's like, we get to wear jeans.
Yes.
And I get so tickled at them. It is so funny. So as far as, this is something that I've also found interesting when it comes to looking at the schools is they're also different because we'll have some that will be just kindergarten through third or, so what ages, and then we'll have, when I was in school, middle school it was junior high, was 7th and 8th grade, and 1st through 6th was elementary. I mean, the class, you know what I'm saying? And so you had 1st through 6th was elementary, 7th and 8th was junior high, and then of course 9th through 12th was your high school. It's changed. We didn't even have kindergarten. Because I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. And so what ages do you have at Coopertown Elementary?
So we have one pre-K classroom, and then we're K-5.
Okay, K through 5. And so our middle school in Robertson County then is classed as 6th, 7th, and 8th?
Yes.
Is that pretty much across the board, I guess?
Yes, because I think about my kids that left me for 5th grade, and the Coopertown Middle is 6th, 7th, 8th. Yeah, so typically most schools are.
Okay. Well, and that's what I'm finding. And again, it's just something that's unusual for me because of my experiences as a young person. But so how many students then do you have?
We are a little above 400.
Okay.
So, and that's down. We're normally about 420, although we've had some friends move in. So I know at one point we were right at 400. So I'd say we're about 410.
Okay. So what does, as far as what the hours, because that's another thing people don't really understand. You know, my husband, he teaches at Springfield. He's in part of the criminal justice program over there. I teach audio video at Greenbrier. Our school day starts at 8:30. But they've recruited him to drive a bus too. So he's driving a couple of bus rides. He's actually bringing kids, I guess, to the middle school. Okay. I don't know if he's bringing to the elementary. I guess maybe he's coming to the middle. I can't remember. But I know that he picks up his first, I think it's middle school he's delivering kids to. Because he picks up kids at like 5:45 a.m. Oh, that blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
So what time does your school start?
So our doors open at 6:45, and it ends at 2:15. Yeah, driving here, I'll be honest, I did not go to school. I knew that if I did, I wouldn't get here on time. Yeah. So, but it was just so weird seeing all the people that get up at regular time to go to work. It's a huge difference in the amount of traffic when you're trying to be at work at 6:15, 6:30, in order to be ready at 6:45. So yeah, we're pretty early. And I tell you what, those kids are amazing. They come in, they might not all say good morning first thing in the morning, but they will warm up. But they come right in, we jump right in, we do announcements, and at 7:20 we are rocking and rolling.
I love it.
With instruction.
Wow. So. I mean, that's, and I'm an early bird. I've always done early morning, radio or something. So I've always had to get up early. So it's a different world. It's a different world when you're out early. People don't realize. And so when I think about those kiddos, getting up early and the parents and all of those things, the reason why we do these staggered starts, guys, is because of transportation issues. Right. Trying to get these kids there, the shortage of bus drivers is breathtaking. Yes. So many people are so intimidated, and I've thought about trying to, pick up something to help them, but I just I can't figure out how to make it work in my schedule. But, they need drivers so desperately. If you even think you might want to drive a bus, it is not hard to drive. Just get behind the wheel of one and check it out and see if you can help out. If you're a retired person and you want just a little bit of extra income, that'd be a great way to do it. But we need drivers. We need them so bad. We really do. And, how many buses serve your school?
I've just looked at the sheet yesterday. I want to say we probably have about 7. Yeah. And we've been very blessed. Our drivers come to work. They get our kids, or there's normally a sub. But you are correct. Drivers are needed. Mm-hmm. It is a huge need for Robertson County schools.
It seems like every single day at Greenbrier, maybe not every day, but I'd say at least once or twice a week, we're hearing announcements about buses. Mm-hmm. We're going to use this bus instead of this bus because this driver's not available, and it's just like that jumble. Right. And so I've even thought about picking up just an afternoon route, just taking some of my kids home, just to see if that would help out and alleviate some of the some of the issues, but. It's not hard to drive. It's actually kind of fun, and so check it out. We need that. And then as far as staffing, you said you're fully staffed right now.
Fully staffed.
You're fully staffed. Are you anticipating that R word, retirement? That's the thing with teachers. So often, they're looking into the retirement and seeing what they want to do. What tickles me, and this is something my husband and I discussed the other day, because we're so new to the teaching world and there's so much to discover and so much we didn't know, and it's fascinating, really. And so as we hear teachers talk about, okay, I'm going to retire, and this they have in their mind, I'm going to this year marker and I'm going to retire. We've seen so many come back because they talk about, well, I'm going to retire and I want to do something different. And then they get out there and they're like, I kind of miss the teaching, because they're not ready to just really retire. Right. They're not old enough. They've started out of college, and so they're retiring from teaching young enough to look at another career. But when they're looking at some of the options, they're like, man, I miss the kids. I miss the camaraderie. I miss having summers off. I miss be real. Yeah, exactly. Because that's one of the things that struck me coming in from, being in the private sector, especially being in broadcasting, which is so competitive. Yeah, snow days, man, snow days were hard work days for me because I was up extra early trying to cover traffic and do all those things. My husband was a roofing contractor, and inevitably there'd be, snow would settle in some place and we would, hear, leaks. There's a lot to be said for teaching. It's a lot of fun. Yes, it's very stressful. Yes, it's long hours when school's in session. But it is a different structure that once you're kind of rolling with it, it's just, it's nice. We're getting ready for a fall break. We're all kind of worn out because we've been high school, we had ACTs yesterday. Oh, that's a lot. Those kids are tired. We were tired at the end of the day, and we're like, okay, fall break. We're getting there. So what would you say to people who, I guess that was where I started the question. Do you anticipate some retiring here coming up soon to where you're going to have some openings? Or
honestly, I do not. I have one teacher that's eligible for retirement. In fact, she was eligible a couple of years, but she continues to teach. And then the others, I don't think they have the years of experience.
Yeah.
I think we finally got to a point where we're retaining the teachers that are there unless they move or they have a baby and they stay home. But I think we're pretty settled right now. But life does happen, and so we never know. So I always encourage people just to watch the district website to see what positions are available.
And that means a lot to the kids because when they come back and they see their teachers that were there last year and they're still there, it means a lot to them just to see that. So I think that's wonderful. And we're seeing more retainage in our teachers, I think. And I think that's great. But what are we missing? Anything that we're missing? I know we kind of got started a little bit early. We're talking with Tiffany Hyde. She is the principal at Coopertown Elementary, where they soar. That's just such a great idea because as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, yeah, we talked about this last year. But anything that we're missing that you want to make sure we know about your school?
No, I would like to give a shout out to the people that work on our PTO. They are amazing. Yeah. And they keep our teachers' lounge stocked. They're just there for any resource that teachers need or any resources or things that our kids need. And a shout out to the teachers there. They do not, and I tell them all the time, a lot of them drive from Clarksville and they pass many, many schools. So they do not have to teach at Coopertown Elementary, but they choose to do so. I love it. And so I'm very thankful for my staff. For sure. And if you are even consider, if you were really, I tell people this all the time. The mission work that we get to do down in Mexico every year, we've been at it for a long time. And when I first started going down there, I loved it because we were changing the community from the inside out. And it occurred to me, wow, we need to do this in America. And so as the more I got involved in the community that I live in and seeing the programs that are so doing that, including Open Door and Isaiah House and CASA and Safe Baby Court and all those, all these wonderful, wonderful things, getting involved from the inside out, I'm telling you, there's no better way to do it than in the schools. There's just to love on these kids that you have no idea what some of them are dealing with. And to be able to come into the schools and just share love and just give them a safe place, whether it be, we're talking about, we need drivers and bus drivers, substitute teachers. Oh my goodness. We need substitute teachers. Do y'all have a full-time sub? I know a lot of schools do. We've been blessed to have the same person. I guess since they've put full-time subs in schools, he's been with us. And so we're very blessed. And he comes to work. We can count on him. He goes into any classroom that we need. So I know there's some schools that still lack one, but we've been very blessed to have the same person each year. That's wonderful, and that is a very big help because things come up, and to be able to have that person that that's always going to be there. But if you want to, again, really change your community from the inside out, go show some love to these kids. Be a sub,
be a bus driver, be a bus attendant? Do you need, like, how does it work? You have your teacher, or do they all have an assistant?
Oh, no, that would be nice, and I think they would appreciate that. Our pre-K classes, they do have an assistant with them. And then this year we did receive CDC back in our building, and so that teacher also has assistants that are with her. But we do have the best general ed assistants this side of heaven. I always tell them they don't make nearly what they deserve. They're just like teachers, and so we have the best. Again, they choose to come to Coopertown when they're so talented and can do anything they want to do. So no, not each teacher has one, but the ones that we have, they are so hands-on and willing to help in any area that's needed.
You mentioned an acronym, CDC. You said, what is that?
So that's a part of the special ed class, and I don't want to go giving the name, but I think it may be comprehensive. But it's some of our schools with some of our students with the more severe needs, disability needs. And so that classroom, I think we currently have maybe 6 or 7 students in there. And then we have a teacher, and then she has 2 assistants to assist, because those kids, they just require more. They are a part of Coopertown. We love them dearly. We all pitch in if we have to, but I will give the teacher and the assistants in there, they are pretty amazing. They are patient with those kids. They try to include them in everything that our regular kids do. And so we're excited that they're back, and they just jump right in, and they fit right in, and we keep it moving.
I love it, and that's one thing we have. Our special needs too, Miss Gray, and the women that are in there helping her. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. We had them. They went for their Special Olympics bowling tournament last week. We
had to,
and that was so much fun, because the school, gave them a big send off, just like we do whenever we, if we have a team that goes to regionals or something like that, just the same way. And just, love to applaud them and to honor them. So much fun. I love to talk. When we do our Ask a Bobcat, I actually told Miss Gray, our special needs teacher, she told me, she goes, give me a heads up of what you're going to ask so we can talk about it in class. And so when they're in lunch, they're ready with their answer.
Right.
Because they love, and talking about hearing the kids hearing their name on the intercom when they see themselves on the news. Oh my goodness. They just think that's the biggest deal.
They've arrived.
So exactly. It's so much fun. We're talking with the principal at Coopertown Elementary. That is one pre-K, and you said K through 5th.
Yes.
And this is Miss Hyde. And just anything else that we're missing, I could, if you need to go, because I know I started you in here a little bit early, and but if you need to head out once we cover everything we need to cover, you certainly, I wouldn't hold you in here just to visit, even though it's nice. But anything that we're missing that you want to cover?
No, I think we covered our events that's coming up. I
got the Thanksgiving. Now, I'll tell you, we did not talk about, do y'all have anything for Christmas? Do y'all have any kind of a, like a lot of the kids will put on some kind of a show? Is that in the plans?
So, yes, we do. Our 5th graders normally do a Christmas play, and that's in the afternoon. I think it's normally about 6, and we invite those parents back for that. Miss Lindsay Mulholland, who's our amazing music teacher, she sponsors that. So that's our big thing. And then I will be honest, that last half day before school is out is probably one of the most exciting days for our students. Again, we invite parents in for that half day party, and I don't know, it's just it's a good place to be. The kids are happy. The parents are happy. We work hard, so when we can get those days, we take advantage of them. Sure. So right off, I think that's the only 2 big things that we have scheduled that invites our parents back into the building.
So do you have on that last up, do you just have parties in every classroom? And
we
just
do.
That's
the one thing I tell the kids, you don't have to do any work, although, we don't start first thing in the morning, but we start pretty early. They get out early, because don't forget, we're there at 6:45. Yeah. So we get them in, we get parents in, and they just need that time. Yeah. Instruction is important in our building. They know I will hold to it. We try not to waste any time. So on those days, we do try to let our hair down and just enjoy the hard work that we've done up until that point.
That's great. That's great. The kids just love it. It's a lot of fun. And they work for those rewards because it's so funny. Yesterday, we have the seniors took the ACT for the last time for free. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then our juniors and our sophomores took practice ACTs. Mm-hmm. And then our freshmen, they had some ACT challenge work to do that was written work and all this. It was a lot of work. I mean, it was a lot. I can imagine. But we had this incentive for them that if we keep our attendance at a certain level, they're going to get an extra long pep rally as we kick off homecoming. Mm-hmm. They showed up yesterday.
That's awesome.
And I'm in the years past that I've been there, we had so many missing kids. It just, I'm just not going to go.
Right.
But they knew that if they didn't turn out, they were going to miss their pep rally. Kids will show up for these incentives if you will give them something to work for. So when you're talking to the kids, it's like, let's work hard because, we get that half day off. We're going to come and have fun and just have a great time. I know my friend Muriel Barnett up at White House Heritage, they do they have their, right before they get out for Christmas, they have like almost an all day thing with the talent show and all this kind of thing. Kids work for that. Our Renaissance Rally is one of those things that it's just a big old party. And the kids will work for it, and it gives them something. It gives them that incentive, and it's a game changer, y'all. It is a game changer. Y'all are doing a good job over there. I just enjoy. As soon as you started talking, I'm like, I remember her from last year because we just hit it off so well. You are obviously doing such a beautiful job, and I hear so many good things about you. I really do. As I'm sitting here just kind of recalling, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this and I remember that. So you are greatly loved, and you are doing a great job with your school. And with that, I mean, anything else that you want to cover? I think we got it, No,
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, until I guess I'll see you next year. And I know one other thing I was going to ask you. Since you start so early on a half day, what time do y'all get out then?
I think our half day is 10:45.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Because half day for us would be towards noon. I mean, getting on in about 11:30. So about 10:45 would be your half day dismissal. Okay. Okay, and it'll be, I'm telling you, we're going to be there before you know it, coming up on fall break. Have a wonderful fall break.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy not having to answer your alarm or anything, and just take a breath.
That's the plan.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Miss Tiffany Hyde, she is with Coopertown Elementary, and thank you so much for joining us as she makes her way out and gets on to school, because I'm sure she's got a lot going on. I'm not really sure who we missed this morning, but we'll get them rescheduled and look forward to talking with them. Thank you so much, Miss Hyde. And as she makes her way out, we're going to cover a few things that I still had on my list that I wanted to cover since we had a little extra time. Of course, we're going to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. What do you want to know about the real estate community? Well, you can give them a call anytime and talk to Barry and Rebecca. They have dealt with a lot of historic properties. I know some people, I've talked to people before, they're like, I just want a historic home. And they can help you and guide you to those homes that are available, because a lot of times these things don't hit the markets, guys. If you want to, have your eye on something special, you want a historic piece of property, let Barry and Rebecca know. And when something comes up, they're going to reach out. Her number is 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. You can give her a call and talk to her about just exactly what you're looking for and what you want to be made aware of. Now, that she has her agency office up in White House, but she works all over the area. They're in Cross Plains. They're Cross Plainians. They've been there for 30 years. They got here about the same time I did to Robertson County. This is home, y'all. It's where we've raised our families, and we are Robertson Countyans to the core. And so they specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky because they got a diverse background. She came out of a radiology background, stayed home with her kids, and then as her kids were going back to school, or starting school, and she was thinking, I want to get back in the workforce. She decided, you know what I want to do? I want to do real estate because I had been working in it part-time, and so she looked around for a company that had absolutely everything she needed to be successful, and that was the Exit Real Estate Company. She was with the Garden Gate team for many years. Barry came on and helped her with the marketing end of it. He was the vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years up in Nashville, and when he decided to go full-time, he became a broker here in Springfield. And so they combined the brokerage office, the agency office to bring you Exit Prime Realty. This is the new branch in the Exit tree Barry and Rebecca Richards brought you. And so a great opportunity for you to find out everything you need to know about real estate and the options that you have. If you're looking for maybe a specific address, I'll tell everybody, we're looking for property at the top of our property because we want some road frontage up there, which we do not have. So they're keeping an eye on that for me. But anything that you have, maybe you just want a free market analysis, you can get that by simply calling, again, Rebecca, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or you can go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, BUI, robertsoncounty.com. But always, please let them know that you turned sent you. Now, as we're waiting, I keep telling you guys, you need to definitely hang out because Lee Marie has got an exclusive interview with the gentleman who has purchased the theater, and we're super excited about this. She's going to be talking to Michael Crawley. He is also the gentleman that's bringing us the drive-in theater. So that's going to be really cool to see exactly what are his plans. So I am super impressed that she was able to secure this interview, and I want you to stick around for a very important another full local hour of local programming here with Lee Marie. She's going to be coming on the Go Show again with Michael Crawley. And he is the new owner of not just the drive-in theater, but the downtown theater. And we're so excited to see what's going to happen. So y'all got to stick around for that for the Go Show here in just a few minutes. But while we're waiting for them to come on in, I do want to remind you that you've got the special, the Historical Society. They do so much to bring you just really cool programs. Danny Ashley is just a dear friend of mine, and he's, of course, involved with Robertson County Players. They've got Mousetrap coming up, by the way. And if you missed Much Ado About Nothing, oh my goodness, it was so good. Such a great take on that. But it just, you really missed something if you missed that. But they'll have another play coming up. This is going to be, again, the Mousetrap. But this weekend, they have got their presentation out at the cemetery where they do they have the characters that were so important to Robertson County. They come alive. And so they kind of come in and talk to you about all the things that are going on. I'm trying to pull up the Robertson County historical page because that will give us all the information that we need on it. But it is so cool because they'll go in and they'll give you stories about some of the historic figures that are just fascinating for you to hear more about, and you'll get that backstory on the things that they have going on. So, or that they had going on that brought us Robertson County. And again, I'm trying to pull this up as I'm talking, and I'm not finding it. But it's an opportunity to hear some of the backstories and some of the history. Now we always love having Bill Jones in. He's our show's historian. Bill Jones will be coming in here. He's on the second Monday of the month, and he'll come and share some history. But any chance you have to hear about the special history of our wonderful county, you're going to want a chance to do that. So they're going to have that happening this weekend. And also, too, we want to remind you that we've got Fieldy Farms. This is another one that I want to make sure, and let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Yeah. Fieldy Farms, they have got their wonderful corn maze that is opening up. And that is coming up, let's see here. I think I maybe actually opened it up this weekend, but they've got a corn maze and some things that they've got going on at Fieldy Farms. Craig, I've been reaching out to him. I'm going to try to get him on tomorrow to talk to him about all of those things and get some specifics. But we're going to definitely see if we couldn't get some more information from Craig at Fieldy Farms about what they've got going on for fall. But let's see here. Let's see that the Shuckles Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch opened last Saturday. And if you want to go out and visit it, you can go to shucklescornmaze.com. shucklescornmaze.com. It'll be open through November 1st. Saturdays 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday noon to 8 p.m. And they're going to actually have a big worship concert out there this Sunday. It's a one worship choir concert. It's going to be just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to go out and enjoy fall and to enjoy some wonderful gospel music. But again, that's this weekend. I'm going to reach out to Craig and see if I can't get him on tomorrow morning so we can talk more about this. October 5th, 1:30, the One Worship Choir Concert, and the Shuckles Corn Maze is now open. Shucklescornmaze.com. Shucklescornmaze.com is where you can find out all about that. So many wonderful things. Fall on the Farm again, Bernard Farms. That's happening on October 11th. You don't want to miss that. And as I was, I talked a lot about the Smoke on the Ridge. They had over 700 folks at Smoke on the Ridge. They had a wonderful turnout. So it's going to be absolutely wonderful. But we're going to have them back on. They were reaching out. I was talking about them this morning as we were filling time waiting for our principals to come on in. But they're wanting to come in and talk about the Morgan event. And I've lost my paper that gives me all the details on it. But we're going to definitely get them back in. Oh, here it is. This is Morgan on the Rim. That will be coming up on October 24th, 25th, and 26th. And yes, we will be getting them back on to talk about this. This is a historical Civil War reenactment. It's going to be wonderful. If you think there's nothing going on in Robertson County, you're just not paying attention, you guys. And again, so excited for the shows coming up. So proud of Lee Marie for making this happen. But this is something we have all been greatly anticipating. What's going to happen to our theater? Is it going to be a game changer for the downtown square? I believe it's going to be, because I'm really excited about her guest coming up. Michael Crawley is going to join her to talk about the purchase he made on Saturday of our historic theater and what are his plans. And I bet they'll talk a little bit about the drive-in theater too that's going to be opening, I don't know how soon, but it's going to be a great interview. Stick around for another full hour of local programming right here on 1100 WSGI with The Go Show coming up with Lee Marie. Stay tuned. God bless. Have a wonderful day.